between Mithya and Satya. Let's talk about the example of the shirt, and we go on dissecting it, and we go forward till it becomes Sat, all the way to the end. Now, you use two words, Chit and Sat, when you are talking. Now, can we, okay, before that, you said the thread is, cloth, the cloth is, a thread is, molecule is, atom is, and you go on like the progressing it. And finally, you said the cloth is. No, this is, I don't understand why, how that is the Sat. And also, can I say that when you progress like this, since Mithya is also, is also, it is a truth. Mithya is a truth. Can I say, when you say shirt is, there we are talking about the chit, a chit amsha?
Right. So, when we say shirt is, existence of shirt is there. Existence of any object is. That existence, which is often ignored, often means almost all the time ignored, right? That is why we know Vedanta is the one that's bringing that existence to light, to tell us that existence which I have taken for granted is the Satyam of any object. And so it's difficult to see, correct? It's not, I won't say it's easy, but then suppose you break down the cloth or shirt or a pot, you start breaking it down. Okay. When will you stop? When will you stop breaking down? This is the question. You have to, where you will stop is something that has no name and form. Because if you say there is a name and form, then you go ahead, keep breaking it down. Further. Until there is no name and form. And until there is no name and form means what? Hey, every name and form can be broken down into further names and forms. And further names and forms. Yeah, you can physically, maybe it is getting smaller. But even the smallest particle can be further subdivided. There is really no such thing called the smallest particle. The only thing that you call the smallest particle is based on the limitation of the instruments that prevent you from seeing any smaller than that. Okay. Therefore, this idea of smallest particle is actually useless. Useless means what? It is useless in trying for me to get at the Sat, because I cannot arrive at the Sat by simply breaking it down, because now I have to wait for some other instruments to break down further. Shastram is saying you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. Shastram is saying it is Satyam. It is existence. It is existence. That existence is Satyam of pot, of shirt, etc. Okay. And look at this. This is the beauty. Okay, that's the pot. The Satyam of the pot. But so what? Satyam of the pot? Okay, let it be existence. Then what about this body? You can do the same thing with this body also that I did with the shirt and with the spot. And where will I end up? Is the question. I have to end up at the same Sat, obviously. But tell me a little more. Sat, you mean I'm not the body, I'm the Sat? Yeah. So this is where existence comes into play. This is when consciousness comes into play and says, somebody asked, do I exist? Why should I say I exist? So far, nobody has told me I don't exist. Why should I say I don't exist? There is one type of not existing. For her, I don't exist. For him, I don't exist. That people say sometimes. They say that. They complain. They say, you behave as though I don't exist. I'm not talking about that existence. I exist. This is that's so uncanny that nobody can ever say I don't exist. That I exist is so important. Hold on to that. And do I know that I exist? Yes, I know that I exist. So that consciousness, I am conscious of not just myself, but the entire world also. And that Sat, which I appreciated by analyzing this part, now I appreciate that Sat because I also must be that same Sat. And now I appreciate that Sat as also Chit because I am a conscious being. I am a conscious being. And that consciousness does not appear to be manifest here. The pot doesn't seem to be conscious of me, but I am conscious of the pot. Okay. And so now comes the Sat and Chit together. And so either analysis should take us to Sat and Chit. And because it is not easy, we have various prakriyas or methodologies called Panchakosha Prakriya or Avasthantaraya Prakriya or Karanakarya Prakriya. Okay, Prakriya means a method to unfold this truth. Okay. And Panchakosha Prakriya means what? Hey, I identified this Annamaya Kosha. Okay. Do you realize you're not the body? Yeah. Then am I the senses? No. That is Pranamaya Kosha. Then what? Then are you the mind? Then I am the mind. No, you are Manomaya. Manomaya Kosha is there. That is also a Kosha. That is not Atma, etc. So these are all ways to make us appreciate Atma. And yes, that Atma is Sat, that Atma is Chit, which is the Satyam of the entire world and which is the Satyam of me also. That is the saving grace of all this. Otherwise, it will become an academic exercise. We are very good at Sat of the pot, but it's of no use to me. I will still be depressed. Well, depression is a quality of the mind, but I am that same Sat means that's just mind-boggling vision it is. So they need to kind of grasp this vision and say, I am the Sat means Purna Madaha, Purna Vidam, Purnat, Purna Mudachate. Aham Purnaha. I am that Purnaha. Therefore, that Purnatvam is so important for us. So anyway, that's why we are studying Prasad. So we can hang on to that vision and it becomes clearer and clearer with time. Because our mindset is, I need to look for, this as scientists, we have become very good at looking for something. And no subject, nowhere in the college or anywhere they say, have you ever looked at the looker? Just one statement is all that I need. One statement, that's all. And you won't find a statement in a physics book because Looking at the looker is not the job of physics. Not the job of any science for that matter. If the scientist decides to look at the looker, that guy has to sit in a class like this, correct? He has to look for it. Tell me more. Who's teaching about all this? Yeah, there are teachers who can teach these things. So then he has to, it's not like he's quitting science, but he uses that science to appreciate that same reality. Anyway, it's a long answer, but Satyaji, go ahead.
Can I say the existence at each stage as we progress, at that time, that is the Sat. As we progress, there are various steps, and at that one particular step, can we say that is the isness?
When you say at every stage, it means at every
Yes.
stage.
For example, take the example of cloth, a thread, etc., etc., etc. When it is thread, can you say thread is? Okay, so thread is the existence at that time, at that moment. So is that the Sat?
No, thread is the existence at the moment is not a correct statement, because the fact that you are able to finish off the thread shows that thread's existence is shaky existence. Thread exists, correct, we agree that. We don't deny the existence of thread. But thread is mithya because its existence depends on something else. Just like the shirt's existence depended on the cloth. Cloth's existence. Therefore, cloth really did not have the quality of existence. I mean, shirt did not have the quality of existence. That existence does not belong to the shirt. If it belonged to the shirt, then you cannot, shirt will always be. You cannot change the shirt because it's the quality of the shirt is existent, therefore it will always exist. How can you remove the quality of an object? Tell me. Fire is hot, you cannot remove hotness from fire. Therefore, easiness is not a quality of the shirt. That is why you're able to do physically also you're able to do it, and otherwise also mentally also you can do that. Therefore, it tells me that easiness is not a property of any object. Easiness is independent of any object. Okay.
Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya.
Dashangulam. What a... Yeah, Satyaji, go ahead.
Couple of things. One is if you do a reverse engineering, so to speak, if somebody asks me, can you show me God? I will tell him, it is within you. That's why you can't see yourself, because your consciousness is God. And your existence does not come into play unless you are conscious, unless your consciousness illuminates that existence. In that way, Krishna, when he says that he is present in the universe, in every aspect of universe or every object of the universe, means that it comes into existence because of consciousness of the person, of whomever you want to refer to. So it is about consciousness much more than anything else. We are attributing qualities to Krishna, and I think it brings the duality into existence, into discussion. Am I thinking wrong?
Yeah, the last couple of sentences I couldn't hear. The audio was...
Okay. No, I'm saying that quite often, at least in the beginning, I was mistaking, for example, Panchakosha. They are within me. People might say that they're not really physical layers. They are psychological layers. And similarly, if somebody says there is existence, that comes into existence only when there is illumination of that by consciousness, one's consciousness. So it is about consciousness more than anything else. So when Krishna says that everything exists because of me, it is because of the consciousness that illuminates the universe. The universe comes into existence, just as in dream, for example. There is no external object there in dream, but still you perceive that you are existent or others are existent, objects are existent, and the universe comes into existence in the dream, even though there is no such thing really. So it is about, the focus is mostly on consciousness that is within us, and that's why we don't see the God outside. And so when we try to describe only one God or multiple gods, I think we are deviating from Advaita philosophy. We are creating duality, I think. So what exists is God only exists, not many gods, but God only. The existence itself is God.
Correct.
Anything wrong?
So that's the statement that Advaita Vedanta makes, which is all of you say God exists. We say what exists is God. Correct. So that's a good summary of this discussion, which is that what exists is God. You have created a God, put that person in Swarga and say God exists. I'm saying I'm not going to put anybody anywhere. I'm saying what exists is God. That's it, over. So as you have said, concluded your discussion. And that existence is not an ordinary existence, because now the entire world is pervaded by that existence. Exactly like in my dream world, I say I saw a dream world. I saw a dream last night. If I say that mountain in my dream is not separate from me, the existence, the consciousness, entire mountain. And the lion in the mountain lion is also me. The mountain is also me. And then the mountain climber is also me. It's amazing. And exactly like it is in the dream. In the dream, I say, aha, yes, yes. But when I wake up also, it is exactly the same thing. What is exactly the same thing? The fact that I pervade the waking world. Just like I pervade the dream world, I pervade the waking world. Can I say that? If existence is all there is, then I should be able to say that, because I am existence. So this dream is a very important example. Swami Paravedyanandaji jokes that anybody who is unable to dream will find it difficult to appreciate Advaita Vedanta. For us, dream is a very important example.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Vaidyaji, go ahead.
Jaykumarji, two comments I wanted to make. One is from Purusha Suktam, you mentioned Atyadishta Dashangulam. And I've also heard it as, just like here, Bhagavan Krishna is saying that Ekam Shena Sitam, Ekam Shena Sito Jagate, right? So in the sense that Ekam Shena, the Amsha there is the Shangulam. And but I can understand the nuance that you said also. It is like I'm 10 angulam away, which is also, you're independent. Bhagavan is independent of the world is dependent on Bhagavan.
Satyam is independent of Mithya. Clay is independent. So clay is 10 finger widths apart from the pot, as it were. Yeah.
So yeah, so that I remain pervading this entire world with one part of myself. That one part of myself is the Dashangulam.
So that's why this vision, this is this vision grows into us slowly.
Mhm.
Slowly it grows, and because we are not used to thinking like this,
Correct, correct.
we are used to thinking about some powerful force, and therefore we slowly we stop relying on miracles. First, since a lot of transformation has to happen in our own mind before this vision sticks to us, because mentally we are growing into it. And so previously I was looking for miracles. Now everything is a miracle. They say the ant hill in the northern hemisphere, ants enter the ant hill from the north, it seems. And then in the southern hemisphere, ants enter the ant hills from the south. I don't understand that. So why does this happen? For me, it is a miracle. All these are, every small thing is a miracle. If I can appreciate small things as miracles, then this vision will come to us.
So the second point I wanted to make, Jaykumarji, is, I wanted to introduce a different perspective. So Puja Swamiji always used to say that all religions are not the same. And he would elaborate it, right? So, in fact, Swamiji was unique in saying all religions are not the same.
Right. So I start with that. We say all religions are same because we think all religions are like us. And therefore any god is okay, Ishta Devata, this Devata, male, female, anything is okay, therefore your religion is okay. Therefore all religions are same. That therefore all religions are same is wrong because we know nothing about other religions. Without knowing anything about other religions, we make these statements. Until you talk to those people and then they say so many things which we don't say at all. We don't say you're going to hell. But they say it very lightly. For them, it is very obvious that we are going to hell. In fact, they are more sure than us also. So, therefore, anyway, that's a big topic. But yeah, Swamiji is famously known for that. All religions do not lead to the same goal.
That is also true.
Do not lead to the same goal because the goals are different. Goals are different. Even the heavens are different. Everything is different. So why should all religions be the same? Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, Vijay, go ahead.
Yeah, Guruji, one question. We were talking about vibhutis and we spoke about other religions having different ideas. Now, that is okay, religion, we can leave it aside, but even in our day-to-day dealings, we come across different kinds of people with different mindsets, right? Now, when we talk about Ishvara, seeing Ishvara in everything, how do we overcome these small hurdles that are there?
Small hurdles means what? What do you mean by small hurdles?
Hurdles meaning where people are very different in nature. Like we talk about different religion propagating different things, and we say that's not good, that's not right. But that's also Ishvara, finally. Ishvara's, he pervades everything, right? Good and bad. We have already spoken about that. So how do you, I'm sure in our progress on spiritual journey, at some point we have to not be mentally disturbed by whatever wrong is also happening. Yes, wrong is happening at a Vyavaharika level. Maybe it has to be dealt with, like Krishna dealt with Duryodhana and all that. But for common people, how are those small irritations or botherations to be overcome?
Yeah, common people, are you including yourself among common people, or are you referring to them as common people and I'm not?
No, no,
common?
no. It's only our journey. So
Okay, okay.
it's about me.
Yeah, so this is a mindset shift, huge mindset shift, right? And so it takes a while. This dharma, adharma is there in everybody's mind. So they're all people who follow dharma. And so it is painful to see somebody hurting somebody else. It's painful to see violence, and you don't know whether the country is improving or not improving. There's so much going on, right? All these things bother us. And family is there. If as the world was not like that, then family is also there. Family also, the relationships, every relationship can be a source of joy or can be a source of sorrow also. When a relationship creates sorrow, then the person has more work to do, right? Has more work to do. It's not the end of the world. It has more work to do. So that is why the Shastram talks about adhikaritva. That is why we don't talk like this in anywhere. This is not a topic for anywhere discussion. It's not a dining table discussion. Dinner discussion. No, it's not. It's in fact, in a family, one person is studying Vedanta. Just because that person is studying Vedanta, that person should not bring it to the table. This is a rule, cardinal rule, all of us have to follow. And just because I'm teaching here, I don't even mention anything about what I spoke today. There's nothing. Nobody knows in my family. There are parents are there and the ladies also taking care. Nobody knows what's going. They just know that this fellow gets up at 4:30 or 4 in the morning, does something, and then something happens. He sets it up, and the light is there shining here, and then after 8:30, he shuts everything down. This is all they know. They know nothing, and let it be like that. This is the best way. And so, therefore, we have to. It's a maturity. Like I said before, we slowly we mature. Even as I was listening to Swamiji, I was understanding a lot, but I also had to change my own views on so many things, people, relationships, work. How do I deal with conflicts? All these are there. And it takes a while until things settle down. And Prasada Buddhi also. Prasada Buddhi, we keep saying. Only when real difficult situations happen to us, we will really see how that Prasada Buddhi, whether it is working or it is still there in my notebook and it has not yet come to my head. Correct? So there is no snap answer for that question that you asked, right?
No, more about how to see Ishvara in that. That's the question. Okay, we can deal mind-wise, fine, it's okay. But how to see Ishvara in that is a little challenging part.
When you say how to see Ishvara in that, you have to tell me what is the definition of Ishvara. So then I can tell you how to see that Ishvara.
No, you mentioned like in this Vibhuti, Krishna, Bhagavan says that I am the dice in the gambling or whatever, something of those natures also, which in the not so good things also, he says, see, that is me in that. So seeing that in some things that are not so appealing is little difficult, right?
It is a little difficult. Yeah. So this is even before Vedanta, we have to accept it, right? that this every coin has two sides. Every coin has two sides. And so even Laukika, just understanding how the way the world works, there's going to be legitimate acts and there's going to be illegitimate acts. There's going to be good people, people who do good, speak the truth. There's going to be people who are going to violate all norms, left and right. And so justice system is required. Everything is there. Okay. If we can appreciate that, then Bhagavan is saying, you have to be able to see me in everything, whether you like it or don't like it also, Bhagavan. How, if you ask? Thankfully, the vision of Vedanta is that existence is that existence principle, if I can use the word principle, is me. And therefore, that Satyam of even the Gandagi, the trash that is out there, which you actually go and put it in outside, you take it, physically take it from the home and throw it out there. I can look at the trash and say, before throwing it out, I can offer a prayer. Can I offer a prayer? You know what? May it be recycled. And may I do less plastic. And because you, hey Bhagavan, you are the one that is sustaining me. And this trash actually was there in my house. Only now I say trash, but previously I was the one who got it from the market. I paid money for this trash. When I paid money, I did not call it trash. Now only I'm calling it trash. Orange peel is there. Orange peel is not trash. The other day I was seeing some medicine is being made from orange peel. Some orange flavor and all that. I told the lady, hey, next time you give oranges, you save the peel and I'll tell you that same flavor I'll show you. I'll show you without going to the store and buying it. Then she got the idea. So these are all words that we have created. We need that also. Because we need to know what is trash and what is useful, nutritious, all these things we need to know, no doubt about that. But these categorizations are all mithya. What is the line that divides nutrition from trash? Well, everything comes from the store, and then you do certain things, and then do certain things, and then you say this is trash. And suppose your son asks you, why did you get this trash from store? You only paid the money. Then you have to go to Vedanta. Then you have to say, you know what, that's not how it is. You know, trash and the nutrition are together. And then, you know, like the peanut is there in the shell. It's all together. And they don't buy, you know, it's good to buy the shell. And then you have to boil it in the water. And then you can't digest the peel. And like that, you have to give a lecture to your son. So, yeah. So yeah, it's certain things are not easy, it comes. But Vedanta is not saying you must eat trash. Because mithya body requires mithya food. And that mithya food has to be nutritious. And mithya trash cannot be fed to mithya body. The mithya body will suffer. We are very clear about that. But mithya trash is also like the Chandala reminded Adi Shankaracharya. Okay. Oh means, what more are you talking about? I may not be as clean, physically clean like you. Like that, he gave a lecture. Shankaracharya had to do namaskar to Chandala. So we honor the realities, the Laukika realities. That is why Vyavaharika. There is a beauty to Vyavaharika. And then we go beyond the Vyavaharika to the Paramarthika. Yeah. And the vision will come to us. It keeps coming to us until it just shines. And then after which you are free. You are free. The body won't be free of pain, but you are free. Because we are always looking for pain-free, pain-free body we want. Pain-free body is not in our hands. Vedanta doesn't guarantee pain-free body, but it guarantees sorrow-free, being sorrow-free. That it guarantees, which is what is the biggest problem for us. Physical pain we can handle. Good. Prasad ji, go ahead.
So we see the world, we see the duality in the world. So though it is unreal, we say it is real because whatever we see outside, it is real because we see it, we experience it. But Advaita says that because you see it, it must be false, right? So the world is false, just as you explained, the rope and snake example. Now, it is an error that rope appears as snake. Yes, it is error. But I see snake in a snake, rope in a rope, which is not false, right? So how do we, I mean, the deeper meaning of that I'm looking at.
Right. So that is why we have this. So in one case, we were talking about a projection, Jiva Srishti. Snake is my projection, my creation. Snake is not Ishvara's creation. That snake that I see on the rope is my creation. If at all I can put something in my resume, I can say, you know what? I created a snake when there was no snake. That is my that is my credit. That goes to me, right? That is called Jiva Srishti. Rope is Ishvara Srishti. Okay, snake is Jiva Srishti. So yeah, sometimes we give that example to appreciate that what I see is not always what it really is. So we can appreciate mirage. We give the example of mirage. Or we give the example of sun is rising, etc. These popular examples we have. And we have to extend that example little more to our relationships also. I hate somebody. Why? Because that person did not acknowledge me in some party. Therefore, I hate the person. But turns out that person might be just perfectly fine. People like that person, no problem at all. My own problem, I project on that person, and therefore that person becomes an object of hate for me. Projection, massive projection. Look at that. Exactly like I'm projecting a snake on the rope. No different at all. Because I'm projecting an attribute on the person which the person doesn't have. Which the person doesn't have at all. Human relationships are just complicated because of these projections. Correct? Very complicated. Because husband, wife, husband is projecting on wife, wife is projecting on husband, both of them are projecting on children, they project on their parents. It's all huge projection going on. Imagine, it's just scary when you think of it. And so that's one step. So back to, so these are all projections. These are all Jiva Srishti, really speaking. When I project something on an object that object does not have, then it is Jiva Srishti. Okay. So Jiva Srishti is what kind of Satyam it is?
Vyavaharika.
Huh?
Vyavaharika.
Pratibhasika.
Pratibhasika.
Pratibhasika Satyam.
Yes, yeah.
Pratibhasika Satyam it is, because it's my creation, my projection. No different than the dream. Exactly like I can tell, oh, that dream was just the dream. And so this projection also on people is exactly like the way I'm projecting in the dream. Now, Pratibhasikam is clear. Then Vyavaharika Satyam, just like I can appreciate Pratibhasika Satyam and come down to Vyavaharika Satyam. I can appreciate snakeness is projected and therefore I can come down to ropeness. Okay. But Vedanta says, in fact, science itself says, why Vedanta? Let's reserve Vedanta for a bit later. Science itself says, these are all made up with so many different things. Really speaking, the object that you call a phone or a table or car or anything else is really made up of so many things. It's really not. The existence of the car depends on the existence of so many things. They don't put it quite like that. If they had done that, they will come to Vedanta. But it's all put together. Our own creation is all put together. Put together when you say, then immediately the inherent existence of that object that is put together, like a car or a phone, okay, is lost. Is lost. That object has surrendered its existence to all the hundreds of things that make up that object. That is fascinating. That is when you begin to ask the question, what is this reality that I'm seeing? I take all these objects as real. Tell me more about that reality. If you say, only Vedanta seems to have an answer to that. Anybody can look into it. But Vedanta has an answer and splits the reality and says, yeah, correct. What you see, call it real for now, but you have to call it, just like you call it Pratibhasika Satyam, you have to call this as Vyavaharika Satyam. Because the Satyam of the Vyavaharika object depends on so many things. When that kind of a dependence is there, then you have to look at that on which the object depends. And that's what takes us to Vedanta. That doesn't mean the object does not exist. Object continues to exist the way it is. The car continues to exist the way it is. But car's existence is dependent existence. So then we have to come, finally it has to boil down to me, because I am the guy who wants to get rid of my sorrow. That is what starts the whole thing. No point, this analysis is a waste of time if it doesn't help me. Yeah. Then I have to, am I this dependent existence or independent existence? If somebody asks, what will I say? All along I've been thinking dependent existence. Why? Because I depend on father, I depend on mother, wife, husband, I depend on my children, I depend on this, I depend on so many things. In fact, my entire life is based on dependence only. That is why, and then body also has to tick constantly. It has to be healthy. I depend on the health of my body. So many things are there. So I am nothing but my existence is surrendered to everything else. I don't exist without all these hundreds of things. And if that is my idea of myself, then I'm finished. And there's no hope. Nobody in the world can change this. Can anybody in the world change this? No. In fact, they give you Microsoft, Bill Gates gives you more and more stuff to be dependent on. He wants you to be dependent on him also. Jeff Bezos wants you to be dependent on him also. More and more stuff they give us. More and more brands they create in Amazon.com. And these brands are all amazing stuff. Anyway. And so I'm now dependent on so many things. Now tell me, my happiness is going to improve or reduce? The more I'm dependent on, I am only surrendering my whatever Laukika happiness that is there. I've surrendered. It's all gone. Now it's just not available. Internet is not working means, see, when I'm conducting a class, I get a call from my father. He says, no, internet is not working. Now, should I continue the class or should I go and help him? I have to make a quick calculation. So we are dependent on so many things. That dependence, is it Satyam or Mithya? If it is Satyam, then there is no reason for any Vedanta or anything like that. Just live Manage your life. That's it. The way you were taught, or if you want to know more ways to manage your life, there are schools, ashrams, everything, they'll help you. But our rishis have said, this is that Satyam is Vyavaharika Satyam. You are not Vyavaharika Satyam that depends on so many other things. You are Paramarthika Satyam. When somebody says that, then that has to be meaningful to me. If it is not meaningful, then also it's not useful. Then it is another academic exercise like anything else. So Prasadji, it's see, I've already been talking for 10 minutes now. Because your question is like that. The question is simple question. Real. Everything is real. This phone is real. Obviously, it's real because you and I talk on this phone only. The real phone only is there to talk with real people. So it's not a toy phone. But that reality, that is the beauty. That's why Puja Swamiji would always say, we are reality people. We means Advaita Vedanta. These are reality people. For us, this traveling to other worlds and all just it drops off just like that. Just like a snake drops off its skin. For us, it's all dropped off. Doesn't exist at all. We enjoy everything. But we have to look into the reality of everything. And so we'll continue this discussion. I think it's fascinating, I think, in my opinion. I hope you also consider it so.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll pause with this. We will do the chanting another time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trilokyanathaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.